Hello again, guys, and welcome to Star Teen Mums. I'm Pauline Morris. I am a life and mindfulness coach. That's my second hat. My first hat is I'm a physician. I'm an anesthetist. And today, guess what? We have got you another amazing Star Teen mum with a fantastic life path that I can't wait for her to share with you. And the reason this is all coming at you is because these ladies and I share something in common. We had our first children when we were teenagers. And like me, they also believe that nobody should ever be held hostage by the belief that they're not good enough. So we are coming to you to have the conversation, to talk about something that people don't really talk about. One of the things I discovered when I first thought about doing this was when you go onto the internet and you look for teen pregnancy, it's very sterile. It's very clinical. It's about the difference between, a teen girl and a woman having a baby. It's about how the parents of the teenagers cope with it. There is really not a lot of there for the moms themselves or the dads being teenagers. So what I would like to do is to bring this forward and have us come out there, step up, give our stories, and help some teen mom out there, right? So without any further ado, I have got the amazing doctor, Dr.
Right.
Dr. Tonya for you, coming up live and direct. And I am, as usual, I'm not going to steal her thunder. I'm going to let you tell her all about her amazing self. Take it away, Dr. Tonya.
All right. Hello, 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 everyone. I am super excited to be here and even more thrilled that Dr. Pauline provided this opportunity for me to come and just share my story and the information that I have in hopes that it can help you. And then, if you have questions or concerns, she's provided this wonderful safe space for you guys to collaborate and just to really network and move beyond whatever trials, tribulations, or struggles that you may have. So kudos to Dr. Pauline on behalf of all the good work that she's doing. I was so happy when I found out about this space, and I was like, you know what? I want to go and see if I can just inspire or help someone else, because I wish I had had this opportunity when I was a young teenager experiencing what many thought to be was a tragic mistake, right? Notice I said what many thought to be as a mistake. But one of the statements that I carry with me, guys, so proudly now. And I'm so glad Dr. Pauline mentioned the doctor and Tonya Robertson, right? Because that means so much to me now. And we'll talk about that a little later on. But one of the statements that I carry so near and dear to my heart is, do not allow other people's limitations of you to be your limitation. So don't take that on. Don't think about it. Don't allow it to take a space in your brain under any capacity. When I say that there are no limitations, anything that your brain can even imagine, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Believe me. So here I am. And again, Dr. Pauline, not sure how deep you want me to go into the story, or if you want me to just take it away.
You can go as deep as you like. Your story to tell, and we are just listening and taking it all in.
Awesome. So I'll start. So I was pregnant at the age of 16, guys. So imagine that. I was raised by my grandparents, okay, in a home where there was lots of love. However, it was the type of love that was not spoken or shown. It was just assumed. You just know that people love you because you see them getting up every day, going to work to make sure that your basic necessities are met. I never saw my grandmother and grandfather hug. I never saw them say, I love you. To kiss on the cheek, that was like, oh my goodness. So any sign of affection or any words relating to sex, any thought of sex, or it was just like unheard of. It's like you better not. We're not talking about sex. Keep your legs closed, and that's end of conversation. So, not sure if I mentioned, but we were very Christian family. So Sunday school, I was there. Bible study, I was there. Pastor's anniversary, every time the church doors opened, I was there. So I was grandma's little girl, her little trophy. And so actually, I was the only girl out of all of the other grandchildren, which were all boys. So, I was just that prize. So I was protected everywhere I went. Um, just every capacity of my life, I was it was very guarded, I should say. And so from that, I paint that picture to tell you or to just share my experience from the standpoint of there was something that was missing at that time, just in reflecting back. Though, I was surrounded by people that loved me and, my upbringing was really grounded in religious beliefs. There was no one for me to talk to that could just understand what a young female, such as myself at that time, was thinking or inquiring about, whether good or bad. It's just general questions that I had, and there was no one for me to go to in the safe space that I called home. And so as a result, just again, in reflecting back, I feel like I ventured outside of the home seeking that love and affection that was missing from inside of the home. I'd see my friends' parents, and, you see it on TV, affection, and it's like, what is that all about? So I sought outside of the home for some of that love and affection and just the finding of myself, of a young teenage girl that I felt that I did not have. And so hence, it was a summer afternoon, my mom was around. She had an accident earlier on that left her with some challenges, but she was around and did the best she could to ensure love on her behalf as well. So my mom had taken me for what I believe to be a checkup. And that's when I found out that I was 2 months pregnant. And so that was one of the most challenging rides back home to my grandparents' house to tell them that, their trophy of a granddaughter that was brought up in this church, raised on these religious principles, was pregnant. I'll take a break right there. I'm going to pause, Dr. Pauline.
Oh gosh, I can totally imagine. I can feel, it's like I'm in the car with you and I'm feeling the pressure and the tension in the air. I can almost see it. And it's really interesting that every time I talk to one of you beautiful ladies, you say something that resonates with me. And that story about being the trophy, being in a Christian home, not understanding love and affection, like you spent half your time watching those sitcoms, going,
yes,
you were not supposed to see those things. And I totally get it, because growing up in the West Indian family in a West Indian world. Or I'm going to say Caribbean, which might be more politically correct these days. it was pretty much the same thing. You know, you just didn't talk about these things. You didn't talk about growing up, and you know, you were told about your period as a necessity. Because they had to tell you, you know, other than that, it was just like, you know, if you sit on a toilet seat, a boy sat on, you're going to get pregnant. So that's it. Just don't. And you had to believe it as well. So, and I totally get that conversation. And would you believe, I actually do not remember that part of my pregnancy. Honest hand on heart, I do not remember that part. I probably just blocked it out because it was so emotionally challenging. So listening to you tell that story, I'm sitting in the back seat of that car thinking, this is probably what I felt like, but I don't remember.
I'm sure.
Oh, wow. Well, we can kind of guess what happened after that. I mean, how was it for you? I mean, what was your biggest challenge? I mean, my biggest challenge was that pretty much everybody I knew, and that included family, sort of did a 180 and pretended they didn't know me. But as I've said before, my grandmother was a very pragmatic and practical woman, and her take on the matter was, well, young people are the ones who are supposed to get pregnant.
Oh, wow.
That's what she said to my mother. Old people don't get pregnant, young people get pregnant. And I think she sort of set up, she kind of set the bar a little bit for my mom. But my biological father wasn't having any of it. And it was my stepfather that actually stood up and stepped up and, really took care of me and took care of my daughter. So, and as you said, the way I put it to people is I committed the first and last crime ever. So, you had all of these barriers and hurdles that you just suddenly, as if you didn't have enough already to leap over. So that was how I kind of got through it. I had two very strong women and a strong man that kind of, kept pushing me. I was going and they were pushing, so I had help. How did, and I looked at you, as I was saying to you a bit earlier when we were talking, I looked into your LinkedIn profile and you're just amazing woman. So you need to tell us how you got from that space in the car to where you are today.
Absolutely. Well, so, once I got home, I had to share the news. And from that point forward, I feel like it was very pivotal as far as my growth from that moment to getting here. And so just a little bit about the challenges that I was faced with. Number one, indeed, I definitely felt cast out because walking back into a church where sex before marriage, just those Christian principles. And here I have to walk back into the church pregnant, and, the shame that my grandparents felt, it really internally hurt me. Like I could see the hurt and the shame. And so I could feel the distance, even though, again, I know that they love me. It's just, I could feel everyone distancing themselves. People said some really mean and nasty things to me, and spoke mean and nasty over my life. And while I carried that with me for so long, I'm happy to say that I'm at an age and stage now where I've been able to reflect and shake that, shake those opinions and look some of those very same people in the face and, be happy about my successes despite the negative things that they said to me. So, my son, he was, let me see, I had him in March. I actually had to leave to go to college in August. So I had to make some very critical decisions between the moment that he was born in March and when college started in August. So, though I like to think that my superpowers began the moment I birthed him because
Yes.
it's the critical thinker in me. I knew that as a young teenage mom, if I wanted to create something better, I had to make some tough decisions. And staying in that small town that I, grew up in with limited opportunities was not going to cut it. And so thankfully, my son's father was very supportive and his family was very supportive. And so I was able to leave my son with his father during the time that I went off to college. I came back frequently on the weekends during breaks, and they came to visit me often as well. So, I'm really thankful for that support system during that time because I think it has also contributed to my success now as well. But with that, um, it lit a fire within me to do more and be more and create massive impact in the world and to just inspire others in whatever capacity that I could. So, hence the bachelor's degree. Once that was done, hence the master's degree. Once that was done, hence the doctorate degree. And so, what I've done for both sides of my family, my paternal and my maternal, I'm the very first person with the obstacles that, well, what many classified as an obstacle of being
Mm.
a teenage mom to obtain a doctorate degree. And I say that very humbly and proudly. Um, did it take lots of work and sacrifices? Absolutely. But was it well worth it? Absolutely. And the main reason for that is because I know that I must model before my two children now that I have that anything is possible. Do we make mistakes? Yes. Are mistakes subjective? Yes, depending on if you're looking at the glass half full or half empty. But no matter what, set your sights, set your goals, and go after it. And here we are. And I may have left out some parts in between, but feel free to, I'll backtrack if necessary.
No, no, that's great. It's really interesting. Like I said, to hear everybody's different path after their baby was born. But you're the second person that has said, that I don't want to say leave your baby because that's not quite what it is. You had to make some sacrifices that meant you couldn't spend all the time you wanted to with your child.
Mhm.
And I had to do that as well. So it's that power that you have to kind of pull it up from the bottom of your toes,
Absolutely.
to make that sacrifice. So you don't live in the now, you live in the future.
Yes.
And you don't think about what you don't have now, you think about what you will have if you get through this period in your life,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And it's a phenomenal thing. And it's interesting to hear you say, this lit a fire within you. And I kind of get that as well, because as I said to somebody, well, you kind of had to suck it up, you're somebody's mother now.
Yes. You do. You really do.
This is not just about you anymore. And no matter how you're feeling, this little person is totally dependent on you, and you need to make decisions that are going to give them a better life in the long run. So it's really interesting to hear the response to this challenge. And despite the depression, despite being made to feel bad, despite having people talking down to you, people talking at you and around you. And I said to one of my friends, it was almost like you ceased to exist,
Yes.
because and it's all of a sudden nobody cared how you felt anymore,
Yep.
and people would say things to you and you would think, oh my gosh, that is so mean.
Yes.
But it was almost like there was no filter anymore. It's like, you did this horrible thing, so now we have carte blanche to take you down whichever road we want to take you.
Yep.
But
Scumbag.
yeah, but
Disgraceful thing you. Yeah.
yeah, but I suppose again, it added some coal to that fire, didn't it?
It did. It certainly did. It definitely did. And I'm thankful to this day because of some of the habits that it has instilled and the mindset that it has cultivated within me as it relates to challenges and how I deal with them and how I process information as it relates to how people think of me. you
Yeah.
know, so I'm definitely thankful. The opinions did change, of course, after my success was recognized and my determination was recognized. The opinions changed, the conversations changed to, how did you do that?
Mm.
Congratulations. I never thought. you know so it's again, it's very gratifying, and I'm always blessed and very humbled when I have an opportunity just to share the story about the good and bad of my upbringing, and how everyone has contributed, situations and so forth. I'm just always thrilled because I know that somewhere, somehow, it can help to inspire someone else.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I
Yes.
feel inspired just listening to you.
Thank you. And even as it relates to just business in general, because, as I mentioned, getting the highest level of education was important to me. Like in my mind at that time during childbirth and just looking into other people's eyes that, seeing the disgust in their eyes when they looked at me and talked about me and hearing the comments of, people, friends, family, and the like, talking about me or, urging me to abort, my son. It just, and I just kind of lost my training of thought. So many situations going on, but just even as it relates to just current day with business, just the inspiration of business, which is called Focus Training Solutions. And the premise of that, Dr. Pauline, is, growing up and feeling like I was voiceless to some degree. you
Mm,
know
yeah,
I just felt I couldn't say or ask the questions that I wanted to ask. And I don't fault my grandparents or any of them. I just feel like they did the best that they could for what they knew you
yeah,
know so just feeling that I was voiceless. And so that person, me, ultimately transitioned into someone's workplace. So, still voiceless and not knowing truly how to advocate for myself and speak up and, in any capacity. So I felt challenged from that perspective, but I knew that I needed to just keep going,
mm,
keep going. And so, as it relates to the foundation of my business, we create learning solutions with the employee top of mind. We capture the employee's voice, and that's how we structure those learning solutions. The CEOs and managers, yeah, you guys are important, but we need to hear from these people here, the employees that are actually going to be interacting with this learning material, with the ones that are going to be making a difference in your business. And so, just that whole cross section of technology and education, it came to be because I was a school teacher for many years, and I grew to love the education aspect of nurturing and teaching. And then came the technology. So, here I am today with a successful business as well, Focus Training Solutions, where we create learning tools and solutions designed to inspire and increase employee productivity. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You took us through that such a journey there. You know, you talked about what what challenged you, what was a disadvantage for you, and you turned that disadvantage into a passion. And now you use that passion to help people find their voice. That's just amazing. It doesn't get more amazing than that, really. I sound like a broken record. Amazing, amazing, amazing. No, but I feel your passion and your emotion when you talk about it. And coming from that place of voicelessness to finding your voice and helping other people find theirs, it's beautiful. It's actually really beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome.
On that note, so you've got your bachelor's, you've got your master's, you've got your doctorate in education, you're founder and CEO of Focus Training Solutions. Tell me, Dr. Tonya Robertson, if you had one thing to say to those ladies out there now who are sitting there with their little babies trying to picture themselves in 10 years or 20 years, what would you say to them?
I'm going to go back to the statement I made at the very beginning. Don't allow the limitations of others to become your limitations. By all means. Yep. Engrave that, write that somewhere on a sticky note. Because it's you at every step that you move throughout life, especially being a teen mom. And some people are speaking just, they mean well, but you know the desires of your heart. And you have to follow those desires as you begin to learn what's best for you and your child. So they will speak over your life and give you guidance and tell you what to do and what not to do. But you know. So, don't allow their limitations to become your own. Okay.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Tonya Robertson, and we really appreciate her coming and spending some time with us and speaking with us. So we're going to give her lots of loving, and we're going to get that message out there into the world. And we are going to share it with everybody we know so that we can reach as many of these lovely young ladies out there. And if you can't remember where it is you need to send them to, you need to send them to StarTeenMums on Facebook. We're waiting with open arms. If you want to know more about the background of StarTeenMums, you can check out our sister page, Bolliv Thinks About Heart, Mind, and Moxie. And that will give you all the information that you need to know. So get it out there, get it to our teen moms, get it to our teen dads. You can even get it to the parents of the teen moms and the teen dads so that we can get some perspective that's global and we can really address all the issues around this and we can bring people into their happy, healthy. Thank you so much for spending another Sunday evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you are with us. And take care, and we will see you next time with another amazing Star Teen Mom. Take care. Bye-bye.